Evening.
Evening, people.
Hello.
Chris, how long were you spent holding that pose for then?
What, me?
Yeah,
Chris
Not very long.
in a pose for about at least 15 seconds waiting for
like that. Yeah.
He got bored and put his hand down.
My phone, when we play that intro, my phone will go, it'll come to the play the first like 2-3 seconds, completely freeze, do nothing at all, and then also it'll just pop up with this.
It's got the
So
process.
I'll just have to sort of wing it and guess.
Yeah, them coal powered phones. I mean, you know, they had their day.
I was going to say, funny you should say that. Oh, wrong one. Why does it move? It's funny you should say that, Ryan. Yeah, technically, I almost did lose the intro.
Yeah. Yeah, at the beginning, like we went live. I seen we had there was like a second of us, like all sat here like that at the beginning.
But because when you hit go live, it doesn't go live straight away, and it's always different. So like I've got to like time it. So as soon as I see it go live, you go click, and then it always takes
to have a go for it. You all used to have a go at me for
that. I didn't really.
Yeah, but you did. But Vinny, you did it every single time. I mean, come on, right? If you
and it wasn't exactly
right
like a split second. Either.
Yeah, if you'd have got it right at least once, you'd think, oh, here he goes. Paul's in the comments because you got a crap phone. Yeah. Here he goes. Paul's selling his kidney at the moment on eBay so he can buy the new Samsung phone. If anybody wants to go and place a bid, help him out a bit.
How are we all doing, fellas, anyway?
Yeah, not too bad. Had a bit of a...
Really good, man. Nice to be back at work. And
well, nice for some. Still locked down in Wales.
Even if we are spastic, it's nice.
This is the bit I don't get about Wales. All the shit stuff we get first. No smoking in pubs. I used to smoke back then, so do you know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about things that they're paying for carrier bags and shit like that. We got all that shit like way ahead of everybody else. And then now with the relaxing of the thing, we're still the same. There's been no change. Like no shops are open still. Like literally, actually, CEX was open today. I went into town. CEX was open, but I don't know how they're open. I really don't get it. Game was open as well. Like
essential, mate. Essential, man.
Essential.
Yeah. I know. So right. So okay. So being able to go and sell your older phone at CEX or some DVDs that you've not watched for 30 years, that's essential.
Yeah.
And getting mugged off by CEX as well because
yes.
I've been to CEX in Exeter and they've got stuff in their window they're trying to sell for more than you can buy it new. It's like, what the fuck? Like.
Yeah, the thing is though, I mean, for selling iPhones, they're pretty good. Like they give you pretty good money on iPhones and stuff, as long as they're in good condition. And I always, whenever I buy a phone, I don't use the headphones or the charger because then if it goes in, it's got no marks on it. They class it as grade A, and you get full fucking whack for it. So it's 6 one half dozen the other. Would I ever buy anything there? No. Not a hope in hell. You go in there and like Joe says, the prices are ridiculous, but they pay good money for shit when you sell it to them. That's the only good thing about them. The people that work in there seem an intelligent bunch.
Is that like the Genius? Is that the Apple Genius bar?
Do you know what? I was just about to say they actually do make the Apple Geniuses seem like geniuses. That's that's the thing with it. Is it's just but yeah, it was like a ghost town. I mean, I know it's Sunday anyway, but yeah, it's just ghost town.
Sell it to them
then. I probably will.
My problem is, and I see this a lot, they'll give you like say 30 quid for say like a game, but then a few days, you'll look online how much I'm selling it for, and it's like 3 times as much as what they gave you. It's like, really?
Well, yeah, they got to pay taxes, wages, rent. They got, it's just one of them things, mate. I mean, like once you've sold it, who gives a shit what they sell it for?
This is it. Like I'm still waiting for a valuation for my old PC. I actually took it back to the place where I bought it from.
I mean,
so they know what I paid for it, and I took it in there. They're like, oh yeah, well they'll look after me because they know me quite well. They're like, we'll give you, but I said we got to pay VAT, we got to pay all that sort of stuff on it. So to buy it back in, then we got to pay it and resell it. So Yeah, see what they come back with tomorrow, hopefully.
Yeah, it's one of them things. I mean, you know, it's a bit like I say, like once somebody buys something, it's their possession. I don't really think anybody can tell them how much they should sell it for. I mean, I'm seeing in the billet box side of vaping, there's a lot of flipping going on and selling stuff for 3 times retail and this and that and the other. And loads of people cry about it and stuff like that. And, you know, I've got this kind of attitude where if I don't like the price, I move on. You know, I don't need to sit there and go, whoa, you wanker, and start a big, massive fucking debate about it. At the end of it, you know, people flip houses, they flip cars, they flip whatever else. Well, actually, I'm talking about vaping. I'm talking about the flipping in the vaping industry. That's like in the used vaping industry. So yeah, I'm talking about it.
Do you notice that? Obviously, you're into the billet box scene a lot more than well, none of us own a billet box, but it must happen. People must literally buy something to sell it again for a higher price.
Oh yeah. You have. You've got loads of people that are just that's what they do. They sit there. They wait for hard to get products that are limited to come up. They buy them and then they sell them to the people that missed out, that didn't get in on the drop. Look, do you know what I mean? Their internet connection wasn't quick enough, so then they got to pay double retail for it. But it's one of them things. You can play the game. It's one of them things. Like I say, like don't hate the player, hate the game kind of thing. You know, it's one of them, like if the groups allow flipping, if they allow selling above retail, then and you don't agree with it, guess what?
Fuck off.
Yeah, do one. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them. I mean, I sold a billet box bundle yesterday for 610 quid. Like, and that was 200 below retail for what it was. And I could have, if I wanted to hang out for the money for it, I would have got it.
Yeah. No
That sold in an hour. The guy came to me, he goes, how much do you want for just the billet box? I'll give you 275 for it. Said, no, I'm not selling just a billet box. It comes with all the other stuff, and there's 600. That's the price. Goes, okay, I'll take it all. That was it.
But the thing is, if he just wants the billet box, he'll just flip the other bits he doesn't want.
He will be able to sell them bits and end up getting that billet box for 100 quid.
Yeah,
that's the thing, and this is what I was saying the other week when people are like, people that done all in bundles. If you want to cross the bridge, you've got to pay the toll, right? And in the billet box game, it's called cunt bundles, right? I mean, mine wasn't technically a cunt bundle because it was a decent bundle. Do you know what I mean? Like, my inbox was on fire, like, you know, from me posting it. People like, oh, sell me this bit, sell me that bit, sell me all of it, but cheaper. And you know, it's a bit of a free for all in the billet box sales things. It's nothing like the other side. And then you get all the people crying about it, and it's just like, well. Cunt bundle. They're like some of them you see, and it literally is. It's like 2018 billet box. Looks like I used it to keep the toilet door open. Comes with some friendly flipper panels. Recommended retail $80. I want $300 for them. And like they want like $700 for it, and all the corners are chipped on the panels and this and that and the other. But to get the box that somebody wants, they'll do that. They'll buy that. They'll sell all the other shit, and they'll get what they want. Anyone looking to find a billet box just on its own at the moment, now the Billet Box Vapor have stopped wholesale of billet boxes to everyone. So the only place in the world you can get one from is direct from them, and they do a drop every Saturday. And you've got like all these people just trying to get one. It's fucking nuts.
It's like trying to get tickets. Trying to get tickets for Glastonbury. F1.
It's easier to get the latest Jordans on the drop. I'm not even joking. It's just like people are fucking nuts on it. And it's mental, but it's just one of them things. And people say to us, a lot of money and this, that, the other, but that's how quick it comes back. If I need it, so I was saying to Josh yesterday, it's a way of me saving money, really. I buy stuff. I'm crap at saving, yeah. I impulse buy the fuck out of it. I'm awful at that shit, right? So what I did, this is why people are always like, well, you've got buy loads of stuff. Yeah, but if shit hits the fan, I can sell it. You know, like if I need to, I had a big vet's bill, dogs were ill, whatever. Just sold a billet box. You know, it took me an hour and bill cleared. Done.
Anyway, I suppose we better get on to what we're vaping.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first? Vinny? Let's let you never go first. You go first
Yeah, I
tonight.
never get to go
You
first. I'll go
always
first.
seem to go last, Vinny. So I'm gonna make you large.
Well, you already is.
Fucking don't,
I am large.
yeah, I was gonna say, don't make him any bigger.
Hey, I have shrunk, I'll have you know, before my knees gave way. Anyway, hello everybody. I'm vaping tonight on the OXV8 Oxva or whatever it is, Origin pod system, the new pod. Quite nice, and I'm
I've
on.
heard good things about those.
Yeah, well,
Sorry to interrupt,
the
but
guy
I've heard good
behind
things.
him is actually one of the co-founders of Geek Vape. He's no longer associated to Geek Vape. He's gone out on his own. And these are his first releases, and 30 watts, and it's not a bad device. The flavor on it is amazing, absolutely amazing. But yeah, I'll see how it goes. I'm not too sure on the finish, but yeah, it's nice. And I've got some Candy King sour worms in there. It's something a bit different for me. And then I'm on the Drag X. Another new little acquisition, thanks to my friends at the Barton Vape Shack. Again, a good little device. But again, these pods are not pods, people. This is a tank. I'm telling you, it's a plug-and-play tank. Don't care what they're selling it as. Anyway, in there, I've got some Sad Boy Butter Cookie, and I've got my usual Odin 200 and Fatality. And again, some Sad Boy Shamrock Cookie in that one. And that's me for the night. Thank you.
Nice. Where's Andy? Oh, Andy's back.
Who's got green screen on? Who's your Sad Boy labels look black and white to me, mate.
No,
So
mate. I tell you what, mate. It's something that the Logitech camera does, man. Like mine was doing that. Like that Logitech C290 really hates greens. Do you remember when we were doing the big weekend and my LXV hat, right.
That's
but unless the lighting sort of it's weird. It does some weird things. You know, when we did the big weekend and my LXV hat looked white.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now I'm on this camera, obviously. It's the right green. Like, even though it's very, very different green to the logo.
No, we've not got green screen on. I've just been in chat.
The wrong green, people.
Yeah.
That's a thing that comes up in chat. The wrong green. Andy, you can go next.
Who, me?
Oh, yeah, you go.
Got it.
Good.
Okay, so I am on my acrylic Atom. The slime green. Looks a bit paler on my screen, so you're right. It doesn't like greens very much. I've got the suppressor cap there with I've got some 14 ply staples in there, on and out at like 0.065, super low. As usual, I'm still vaping that Easter, the hot cross bun with jam from Ultimate Puff. And then I've got my Ultimatum, Elite V2, half moon tip on. And I've got some 14 ply staples in there as well, but the battery's dead on that one pretty much. And then in that, I'm on the Ultimate Puff Cookie, the oatmeal and raisin, and then I've got a couple of my billet boxes. I've got this one here, which has got some Sad Boy blueberry jam cookie in, which is quite nice.
I love that colour, man. I love that purple. That unicorn poo, yeah?
Yeah, Unipoo, yeah. And I've got
such a pretty colour.
I've got like these panels, and the inners are like a $400 set, like just for the panels and the inners. But well, like I say, I won't lose any money on it. Like, so, you know. And then I've got my Nug there, which is decked out in controls, the same brand as the panels, so same sort of price in there. And I've got it's the creamy marshmallow Ultimate Puff Nick Salts, 10 milligram, because I'm just using a Nautilus coil in there. Yeah, I'm just using the Nautilus coil.
What sort of power, Andy? I'm just curious. Sorry.
25 watts. 25 watts I'm vaping that at.
So that's sort of max for a Nautilus mesh, I'm assuming, 0.7.
These exact ones here, buddy. Let's have a look. That's by Nautilus. Let me see. Does it even tell you? Yeah, 0.7. It says 8. It says 8 to 23 watts. But if I'm honest with you, it cracks me up. I see some people's billets and stuff, and they're vaping at like 22.6 watts. Why the 0.6? Why? Are you telling me that you can tell the difference with 0.1 of a watt of power? I can barely tell the difference with 5 watts. So, you know, it's
actually do that quite a lot as well, though. I do fiddle very, very minutely with power settings.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't. On a regulated, I'm like 60, 80, 100. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, like my lipo, my DNA 250C lipo, I just tend to have that. That's like 140 watts. And like punch like right the way up, number 11, boost right the way up as well, and I love it. It's just instant fire. It's just instant fire with the light.
I just turn the power up until I'm happy with the amount of power.
Yeah, I prefer straight up variable voltage though. If I could just have straight up variable voltage on the regulated, I just love it. I just 3.6 and above, and it just hits like a fucking truck. And
that Odin 200, man, that's the way to run it. Like
I know.
VV mode. That chip that they've got is an awesome chip. But yeah, and just run on VV, and it's just banging.
Right. I will categorically state right now that I prefer that chip. Right, the one that was in the what do you call it? The top side dual. That chip. Yeah. With the variable voltage mode, I'd rather have that than any other chip. Don't care die codes, don't care DNA, don't care anything. I just have that variable voltage mode, and you just that's it. And there's no muss, no fuss, instant power. It's fucking great. Yeah, see, Nick's the same. So anybody that I've seen that's got one of them, it's got that chip. That's the first thing I say is run it in variable voltage mode. Just run it in that. That's all you want to do.
Vinny's like, shit, I'm running in wattage mode.
Yeah, Vinny's looking at us now, and he's like, right, that's why this thing.
Now you'll spend the entire rest of the show trying to figure out how to actually turn it from
variable.
Variable
mode. I mean, I sometimes run mine up to about 6. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Nick said 4, but I'd run mine at 6, and it's just a beautiful vape. I mean,
yeah,
I didn't keep that long because me and Vinny worked out a trade that was good for both of us. I know Vinny wanted to get his hands on one of those, and he had something that I wanted, so it was an easy trade, you know. But it's a good mod, and that chip is banging.
Yeah, I really like the chip. Like the chip's awesome. I liked it more than I liked the mod. I mean, there was nothing wrong with the mod, but like Vinny's just cracked it now. He's just cracked it now, has he? He looks like he's fucking.
Anyway, while Vinny's working that out, let's see what Chris is vaping.
Yeah. Let's see what Chris is vaping. I wonder.
Duffpo, Vitality in that. Gusted Crack. Then for Paul, Dovpo. Well, Duffpo with me APOC. In that, I'm running Just Jam Strawberry Donut. Would love that stuff. And as always, me hog. And in that, I've got Just Jam Raspberry Donut.
Nice.
And then washing all that down with some Hop House 13 lager. And that's me done.
Nice.
Quick question from Scott Lean in there. How's the planning going for the next virtual expo? It's going.
You told me you'd started some stuff today, Vinny.
I have started some stuff, and
I will get the video sent over to you. The actual the way I make the videos is like a subscription service, and I cancelled it because I was like, I don't need to make any videos for a while, but I've got it saved on my hard drive, which is just here. So as soon as I've finished, I'll plug it in and email it over to you. I've literally re-wicked and cleaned every mod I own today.
Jesus Christ, that'd take me a week.
I've come up here at 3:00, cleaned, like just stripped everything down, re-wicked, and had some new coils. So on some stuff. So I suppose I'll go into what I'm vaping, shall I?
Yeah, may as well.
Yeah, just go on and I'll bring you up.
No, Tracy, he needs more
Gangster granny time.
No, I've not got gangster granny tonight. I've run out. Got my Black Siege, a POC 25 gear, These got a new set of coils in. Some of Andy's few Claptons. Just lovely and feisty the way I like them. Mate, I don't see why anybody vapes anything else apart from Fused Claptons, to be honest with you. At the minute,
I mean, it can get like that, mate. I mean,
yeah. And in that, I've got some Firehouse Probationer, which is their vanilla custard. Got this a little while ago, courtesy of Mark Egan, and I didn't try it, and I've just tried it, and it's really good. Knocked out the park with that one. I've got my classic, my UK Viking Elite V3 on top.
Nice.
Again, some Sub-Zeros.
Figure out where you live. I'm coming for that.
It's a beautiful mod, man. I don't take it any. It stays at home. Do you know what I mean? It's one mod that doesn't leave the house because I don't want to break it. Do you know what I mean? Not break it, but just drop it and damage it. I've got the last of my butter cookie in that, and then as nobody wants to buy it for some strange reason, I thought I'd crack it back up. My Morningstar Reactor stainless steel.
Nice.
That is actually a nice looking mod.
Stainless steel SS Redemption on top. Again,
has he still got the £20 spring in there?
I mean, it's heavy.
Yeah, it's
not.
Yeah.
I mean,
I remember. Is yours the gnarled one, or is it just ribbed?
It's grooved, as they would call this. So this is the
ribbed for your pleasure.
Ribbed for my pleasure.
Ribbed for your pleasure, mate.
Not for my pleasure. I remember seeing one time there was, I think it was on a Vapors Cloud mod, and in the little manual bit it said, "This is not a sex toy." And it's like, really? Like, do you need to put that in?
Maybe the rumors.
Who set the smoke alarm off? Oh, love it!
I'm gonna fucking carry a bag over that fucker now. Go on. Oh, dear.
And yeah, in that, I mean, do you know what? I almost don't want to sell it again now. So, and what I was selling it for, I've technically paid for, so it might just hang around. And that's got my last of the my baking tray. So this is baking tray. This is raspberry Victoria sponge slice. It's good juice. It's nice. I like it.
Sounds right up my street.
Yeah, man.
That sounds. Nice.
They also do like a s'mores one, and that's fantastic as well. I prefer the s'mores over this, but this is still really good. It's quite like heavy. It's almost like a bit gatto-y in places. Does that make sense?
Right,
like it almost tastes a bit like it hasn't got the tartness of raspberry, but it's got that like it's almost too creamy, but it's not. It's really nice. I do like it.
Yeah. That sounds really nice.
Yeah, I mean, I love anything like that, really, to be honest. Think about the average intelligence of people and remember that half of them are dumber than that. Very good point. Yeah. You just summed up Chris in a nutshell there. I mean, like the fat Walter White, eh? Yeah, what a wanker.
Yeah, I mean that is the same thing, isn't it? It's like peanut package, nut package may contain nuts because it doesn't even say contain nuts half the time. It says may contain nuts. It's like, well, it fucking better contain nuts.
Yeah,
I just bought fucking nuts.
Oh, sorry.
Just not hairy nuts. The best one, right? And I don't know if I've said all this, but like there was I mean, the best thing that I've ever seen is a press release from Kellogg's or some cereal company. They're basically like, we believe in the rights.
You do realise I can still hear you.
Yeah. That was the point.
We believe in the rights of all minorities, gays, lesbians, transgender. This, like, it was the biggest sweeping, like, we respect everybody. We like sort of statement I've ever seen. It was just like it was. But that was a much more accurate, sort of straight to the point description, I think. I'm talking about what Chris said. What a wanker, by the way.
That's like buying some ecstasy and the dealer going, mate, these may cause euphoria.
Yeah.
Well, I fucking hope so.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like when you get your Valium off your doctor and it says on there these may cause drowsiness. Well, they better do, otherwise they're fucking good, are they? Like, that's the whole point in them.
So I went obviously illegal drugs. You went like prescription drugs, but
well, you know, hey, ecstasy is legal in Portugal, so you know,
yeah, man,
all drugs are. Hey, speaking,
Brummy down in the corner.
Yeah, man, how you doing?
Not too bad, mate. You all right?
Yeah, getting there.
Good stuff.
What
Are you vaping on?
Gangster.
Yeah.
Say again, sorry.
He said, "Did you borrow your chain off Danny?"
Yeah.
That's away.
Got the Drag X, which, to be fair, I haven't put down all week. Seriously. And that means I haven't picked up a squonk, I haven't picked up a mech, I haven't picked up the dot. Literally, that has been it all week. And I've
Thirsty little fuckers, though, aren't they, Zippy?
Hey?
Thirsty little fuckers, though, aren't they?
Yeah, that could be the fact it comes with a 2 mil tank. It's a bloody good call, though.
It's literally 5 minutes vaping and you have to fill the tank back up.
Yeah, man. It's there are the 4.5 mil tanks out now.
Yeah.
So
Our friend Matt Dixon's got in stock at Mod King.
Yeah, I'm waiting to get one. I've got one coming, so I'm just waiting for that. See if that makes a difference. I think it will, to be fair. And other than that, I've left it in the bloody house. I'm on some custard, purple, I think it's called. They do that and apple pie one. It's K and then stud. It's bang on, man. Really nice in these. Although I did put some caramel tobacco in earlier, but it was 18 mil, and it's a bit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice. I'm just trying different flavors, man. Trying to get some stuff going. Well,
just so you know, Scott, it's for the first 150 purchases. So if you want one, you might be shit out of luck.
Well, I've just put the link. It's not showing on the live comments for me here, but I've just put the link in the YouTube chat. So if anybody wants to go and have a look at it, they can. I've just put the link direct to the Florida Vapor Supply website.
Thanks, Christopher. No, it's not coming up, Andy. That's weird.
Yeah, maybe it's this being blocked. Right, tell you what I'm going to do, actually. I'm going to go and post it on the LXV page on Facebook.
Apply, man.
Let's have a look. Oh, here we go. Let's have a look. Facebook comments. They're working it on it. Paste. Watch this now. Get a fucking ban for putting a link to vape stuff in there. Yeah, it's in the Facebook comments.
It's there now.
There we go. Yeah, so click on that. And
that would me getting a strike.
And get one of these.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Facebook user, please allow StreamYard to see your name.
I got one for you.
Yeah. These are absolutely beautiful. So if you're feeling generous and wanting to treat yourself, go and grab one. Yeah, I knew you had the similar one. Yours has got a bit more purple to it.
Mine's purple. Yeah. Yours is just blue, isn't it? So.
Mine's blue and clear. Like it's
I'll
got
be honest.
Clear...
I bought this at Expo. So I bought this offer from the Cloud Island store at Expo. Luckily, Ariel was there and he looked after me. When I got it, man, I've never seen a filthier mod in my life, and I don't know if it's because it's been sat in Danny's cabinet for God knows for a while. And like I was like, I'm not even going to use that till I get back and clean it. So
I haven't even used this. I haven't even put any batteries in it or anything. And that's how mine came. It came perfect, clean.
No, I'm not saying they don't come perfect.
Oh no. I know.
I think it had been picked up a few times. And
I know exactly what you're saying. I mean, I've been having a discussion with somebody about tamper-proof seals because we'd had that discussion with the coils and stuff. So that might be something that will be coming to some manufacturers' hardware soon. So look, when stuff does go out to shops and stuff like that, the staff don't go digging through everything looking for the serial numbers they want and damaging the goods in the meantime.
And most of the time, the serial numbers in the box. Why?
Yep. It's the RDAs, mate. Like when you open the RDA thing and it's in upside down and the bag's open, you know that they've just gone like that, looked at the serial number, just stuffed it back in and just screwed it up. I've seen a lot of it. You know, I'm not saying any one particular place happened, you know, in quite a few things, but that's what they do. And rather than just going like this, oh, right, that's serial number 30. They go like this, oh, right, you know, get it out, fucking chuck it over their shoulder, see if their mate can catch it, use it as a doorstop, paperweight, and then put it back. And then sell it to someone. And then when they complain, say, well, no, sorry, mate, it looks like you used that. You know, it's just.
Has anybody else in the chat found this? Has anybody else in the chat found this? They bought a mod and it definitely looked used, or was anyone talking about like a hand mod or RDA? And
I'm saying nothing.
I didn't pour a good beer there, did I? Fuck me, don't come to my pub.
Okay, now, what are you drinking? Belgian beer or what?
I wish prostitute beer because it's got more head than prostitute.
That's what I was going to say. I was just about to say they love a bit of head in Belgium, don't they?
No. All Belgian beers should have a large head. It's how they are designed to be drunk here.
Is it 3 fingers of head, they say, or 2 fingers? It's something
depends
like that.
Depends on the beer, depends on the glass, because you'll find a lot of Belgian beers have their own glass as well. So. They
do. I think I mentioned the bar in Cheltenham before. It's called the Belgian Monk, and we used to go in there. It's expensive, but like
Belgian beer is expensive because it's about. See, the thing is, Belgian beer it's like a. And I hate to use this expression.
It's like a fortified wine, really. Isn't it?
It's like a Cornish pasty. It cannot be called Belgian beer unless it's brewed in Belgium.
Yeah.
And most Belgian beer recipes are hundreds of years old. You know, it's monk beer, it's Trappist beer, stuff like that. So, and this is why Belgium are highly regarded as the best brewers in the world, because they've been doing it because they're pissheads and they've been doing it for fucking years.
Yeah.
Like, if we're going to be monks and can't have sex, we better be able to get fucking drunk. Do you know what I mean?
I mean,
we should start calling you the monk then, shouldn't we?
The thing is we used to go in the Belgian Monk, and I mean, back then you could go out and it was like you could go out with 20 quid and, you know, you'd be able to get 10 pints down your neck back then, you know, and you know, 20 quid you'd be able to go out for the night. Quite a while ago.
Let's put it this way. I don't shy at spending in a couple of the pubs I drink in. I don't. If I say how much is that bottle of beer,
and
they say it's £12 a bottle, I don't shy away from it.
Well, I mean, first of all, don't get me wrong. I weren't going in there for beer connoisseur reasons. It's because of how strong the fucking booze was. The beer was seriously. You have 3 pints in there. It's like having 12 pints of Stella.
Yeah,
it's like fucking completely.
You'll notice that most Belgians are way at like 8% and above. Like 8-9% is a minimum sort of strength.
Yeah.
Unless you're drinking Stella, which is not good.
But we have our own particular Stella made specifically for the UK. It's not the same as what you get on the continent.
Well, no, that changed after the laws changed on the taxation with the alcohol strength, didn't it? Because technically,
I don't drink anymore. So
5% when they changed the law. So when it was over 5%, it was then classed as an export beer, and the tax went up.
Yeah.
So you found a lot of breweries like even now, like things like, not that I drink it, like Carlsberg Export is. The reason it's expensive because it's 5%. And it used to be 5.2 because it was you get away with like 4.9, you go to 5, but then when you went over 5,
it's classed as an export.
The tax went up.
Yeah.
So they dropped all the strengths.
Yeah. Like so you if you went to Tesco's, for example, and you bought tins of Stella, they'd be 5.4. You go in a pub and the Stella off the pump was 5%.
Yeah,
like it was completely. So like this is why people used to be like, why does it taste different from?
I never knew that.
Yeah,
I never knew that.
Whereas the pubs I drink in don't give a crap about basically the prices are done on generally the strength, because obviously that's how they're charged. So, and like a pub, the 2 pubs I drink in Exeter, you can't go in. There's certain stuff you can buy, but most of the stuff you can't physically buy in a pint. You have to buy in 2/3 or a half.
But saying that as well, a lot of my friends, like my Italian friends and stuff, like that I grew up with, and people that I've worked with in restaurants and stuff, they all drink halves. They drink halves of lager. They don't drink beer. They don't go into a pub and order a pint. That's a very sort of British kind of thing.
My favourite measure is 2/3. I love 2/3. It's perfect size because it's perfect size for having enough beer to try it and actually getting a proper taste of it, but not having too much. Like some stuff, like a pint is far too much of it. Like some of the stouts I drink,
Yeah.
I drank one stout in there once, and this stout was called Big Ass Money. That was its name, Big Ass Money, right? It's 17%. Right?
Wow.
So it's pretty strong, and they serve it to you in a third. But it's not beer really. Like you said, it's barley wine or fortified wine, but it's amazing. But and that was still for a third. It was still like £8.
Jesus.
Right.
But I'd rather spend that much on that than drink 4 pints of Carlin,
and
still have a higher alcohol content,
or a really bad pint of Guinness. I mean, there's nothing worse.
We were talking about bad Guinness before.
Yeah, we were talking that in backstage.
I mean, when I used to drink, I was always sort of Stella and Heineken Export in the summer, and then in the winter, once it started getting cooler, move on to Guinness. That was just me. That was my cycle I used to do. But I used to avoid certain pubs because their Guinness was so shite. It was just absolutely crap.
Exactly what I do.
I was just saying. So Guinness. The reason Guinness is bad in pubs is not because of the Guinness, it's because of the lines. Right?
Yes, definitely.
Guinness is an ale.
Oh, yeah.
The lines need to be cleaned after every barrel is finished.
Yep.
Lots of pubs don't do that. They'll just barrel's gone, change the barrel. Most pubs nowadays, especially big chain pubs, have quite long lines. Their cellar's quite far away, and that's even worse. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm a fucking beer expert, but this is the thing. So. And they don't, and it builds up, and that's why all of a sudden the Guinness tastes like shit. It tastes irony, it tastes sour. You get that little what's that? And it's because of the yeast and the iron in it. It's building up and building up and building up. So this is the reason. Good Guinness is easy to achieve. It's got to be the right temperature, which is not too cold. But Guinness extra cold. What's the fucking point? You just take away the flavour.
I mean,
and I know we're on alcohol now. Sorry.
We have for an hour.
I mean, you have,
and we thought Andy could bloody chat for England.
Wales, but
the Germans don't serve beer in that Nick. The Germans definitely do lager, and they do lager of
Pilsner.
Well, lager and Pilsner are technically the same thing, and it's actually it's the hardest style of beer to brew because the processes involved are insane. So that's why the lager we drink over is shit, because nobody can be bothered.
Yeah, to get a lager right. I mean, I'll be honest with you. It's I said it before about when I went to Amsterdam, the Heineken in Holland is just fucking beautiful. It's just really nice. I know most people associate Amsterdam with Amstel, or
I prefer Amstel in Holland.
Yeah, see, I don't know, man. The Heineken. Yeah, maybe it's just because I don't drink that much anymore. So when I do, it just tastes that much better. But it's just it's certain places, and it used to be the same when I used to do the silver service waiter in the Cheltenham races and shit like that. They used to fly the Guinness. They used to fly it in from Dublin. They used to fly it all in months in advance, so it'd have time to settle and this and that and the other, and so they could get it right for all of the paddies coming over, and it was just absolutely mental, the amount of money that was spent on just getting that. I know Vinny was laughing there. Imagine getting me as your silver service waiter. Hey, listen, I was record breaking with tips, man. I used to get loads and loads of tips.
Do you imagine the banter you'd get off?
And we all know that Andy's a smooth talker, right?
I used to be in the 500 quid a head, fucking VIP. Yeah, I used to be in one of the big VIP things where it's 500 quid a head, and it's all just proper Richie and Toff types, So I just go in there and just take the piss out of them all and stuff, and they just used to fucking give me money. I was like,
they love that, dude. They love that. They love someone that can challenge it.
I love it.
Yeah, they don't. a lot of them, they don't like being treated differently because they got money, right? They don't like people sort of, some do, but a lot of them don't. They just, do you know what I mean? Like they hate it the way that people, they can't get friendships and stuff with people that aren't on the same sort of level of money. Because there's always that sort of, I can't keep up with you, or they can't keep up with me with the spending, so then they offer to help. And so it's one of them things. It's really hard with, you know, like people from completely different economic sort of things being friends. So when people just don't pay any attention to it and just don't recognize, you know, or just not recognize it, but don't point it out, you know, that they got loads of money or treat them differently because of it, they like it, you know. So I found that anyway, especially the women. Yeah.
Right, let's bring it back to vaping now, James. Come on, let's bring it back to vaping. We are vaping. Yeah. Supposed to be. Yeah.
I'm surprised nobody's done a Guinness flavoured vape juice, though, I'll be honest.
I was about to say, let's combine the two topics and let's talk about maybe...
Well, you get the cider ones and stuff.
Alcoholic flavoured vape juice. The cider ones are massively popular at the minute. Like,
there's a cider flavour.
Yeah,
Ooh.
there's one
Where
like
the
company.
Fuck, you been, Chris?
Fuck me, I don't even vape the shit, and I know about it. It's what they called the company to do it.
Okay,
Is it Cider Farms? Is it Cider Farms?
Obviously, there's Cider Farms.
Yeah.
There's Cider Farms. There's Ultimate Puff are doing a whole range, right? Or is it Ultimate Puff? I think are doing a whole range.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Like they've got their whole and they're all based on. The thing is, I don't class things like Copperberg and stuff as cider, but they are cider in a way, and they're hugely popular because they're super sweet flavors. Like the thing is, would I vape a beer flavor? I don't know. Like it would be weird. I think.
Well, I mean, the Booze Hound,
like something like JD and Coke, I'd vape Booze Hound. Is phenomenal.
Yeah, Booze Hound is an orange mimosa. That's what. You know, so it's like tastes like Bucks Fizz.
For UK people that don't know what a mimosa is, it's
Bucks Fizz. Yeah, and it's actually really nice. I mean, and if you accidentally mix it with the black market, which is chocolate cookie pudding, it tastes like Terry's chocolate orange, which is fucking awesome. That's one good thing about the prohibitions is you can mix them together and make different flavors, and for some reason they just balance out perfectly. It's really.
We've mentioned Bucks Fizz now, and I just want to stand up and whip my skirt off.
Yeah, don't do that. Oh my god, what did I watch last night? Fire Saga. Who's seen that Fire Saga film with Will Ferrell in it? Has anybody seen it yet? It's about like
if it's not been released by Disney, I ain't seen shit.
No, it's on Netflix, mate. I think it's on Netflix.
Oh, that Eurovision one.
Yes, the one with Will Ferrell in it. It's Eurovision.
I was going to watch that last night.
Icelandic.
Yeah, I was going to watch that, but I decided to watch the other one, the Queen and Adam Lambert one.
I don't know what that is.
About Queen, yeah. Basically, they brought this other guy in to basically, in a way, replace Freddie Mercury.
He doesn't try to emulate Freddie at all. No, he does his own thing. And I don't like Adam Lambert, but actually he does a pretty good job of it.
Yes, he does a very good job of it. I will give it that.
For a guy that won American Idol.
Alcohol vape juices. I know Wicked Addiction the other year did a gin range.
They did,
I reviewed, and they did a cucumber gin one. And that was really fucking weird for me. The whole thing just freaked me out.
Cucumber gin. I mean, I got that one from what's that company that sent me the cactus flavor juice? I can't remember now.
What's that?
But cactus should taste alright because cactus is agave. That's how the agave.
Yeah, and agave they used to make.
Yeah, ding dong. He's watched. Yeah, Scott's watched it. Yeah, ding dong. He knows. Scott knows all about it. Yeah, ding dong. It's like that's off that film, that stupid film.
I'll go watch that a bit later then.
Will Ferrell just makes me laugh in general, though. All I got to do is look at Will Ferrell when I start laughing because he's just such an idiot.
That one, Tracy, it's not available in the UK yet.
It will be soon. It will be soon. On the cloud then.
Like it's like a mimosa, bang on. Like a Bucks Fizz, bang on.
It's really, really nice. Really, really nice.
I don't like Bucks Fizz. Can't stand champagne as it is.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It just tastes like fizzy orange, mate.
That's why you want with orange juice.
Yeah, that's Like
Nobody
who the
likes.
fuck? Right, look.
Nobody likes champagne, dude.
Yes,
Like,
thank you. Like they don't
people
like it, they
pretend
drink
like
it.
Champagne. Do not like champagne.
Mate, listen, right? They drink it. It's like caviar. You ever tasted caviar? Right?
Nope.
Let me tell you, right? It does not taste nice. You're
I think
basically,
it does.
yeah.
I've
I'm
had
not into.
some proper Russian caviar, and it was bloody lovely.
Yeah,
Yeah, really nice. Really, really nice. Salty as hell.
yeah. That's what I was
Really
going to
nice.
say. Like, I mean, you know, with the glory holes and everything, I can see why you would like it, maybe, and it might appeal to you. You know, like your palate's sort of tuned to that kind of. Anyway, but yeah, it's like. It's not just that, and I'm not squeamish or anything, you know, about eating stuff. But really, like fish eggs, fuck off. Like, you know, like man. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've done all the frogs, snails, all that shit. You know what I mean? But
yeah, that one, the high binder range from Prohibition, Booze Hound. It's not available in the UK yet. It will be soon. Probably not under the Prohibition name. It'll be under the Speakeasy name. But yeah, it's bang on Bucks Fizz, like mimosa, beautiful.
I was just going to mention a glory hole. Nick, you're always mentioning glory holes.
Yeah.
Or you mentioned on the wall biome.
And the times is available.
Yeah. But yeah, it's one of them things, I think. Like, you know, like Josh is saying, people like they drink champagne and stuff like that because it's fucking expensive. And they want to, it's one of them things of showing off wealth type thing. Like, you know, it's.
Chris,
Don't
how
like
do you
wine,
know
don't like
the times
champagne.
available next to the glory holes?
Huh?
I want to know how Chris knows what times they put next to the glory holes.
Yeah, how do you know? How do you know about the times, Chris? I didn't know.
Well, it's kind of obvious he's going to put what times is available, isn't it?
I don't know.
How is he going to get his business?
Normally, it's just a phone number.
I've never
Yeah, but
seen
this is
that.
Nick. He's as bad as him up there.
Right, look, all I know, is I don't go to a lot of public toilets.
No.
I just avoid them in general. I mean, I'm not even going to get into it. We put there's there's a local ish sort of toilets that are known for, how can I say without offending anybody these days, homosexual activity. These toilets are known for. So one of my friends, Tim, who's extremely homophobic, I don't know, we'd been out on the beer one night and he rang me up at 9 o'clock the next morning and he was like, someone's put my phone number on the Pemberton Wall toilets. I keep getting phone calls of all these people asking me to me what's going on. And we went up there and he had a pot of paint. He was going to go in there and paint over his number. And we went up there. I was still pissed from the night before. I was fucking dying. He was so angry. It weren't me. I ain't got a fucking clue who done it. But it was hilarious. We went up there and he went in there and he was painting over it. And this guy came in. And this guy come in was just sort of standing there. Now, Tim, he thought that this guy was trying to crack onto him. But he obviously was thinking, what the fuck's this guy doing at 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning, painting the fucking public toilets? That's what he was looking at him weird for. He just walked into a public toilet. It's probably some holiday makers fucking don't know their local cottaging toilets or whatever, you know? And he's gone in there. Tim's gone fucking nuts. I heard all this racket. Yeah, that was a funny day out. It was hilarious. I mean, it was just wow. But yeah, if you want to get somebody, find out where the local cottaging toilets are or glory hole dogging areas and just go and put their phone number up and yeah, that'll do the trick. That's always a winner. But much better than ordering pizzas to their houses and stuff like that. I mean, come on, that's boring. All they got to do is say, I never ordered it. Shut the door. It's a minor inconvenience, that is. Having a load of people.
Oh, that's a minor inconvenience.
Well, it is, isn't it? I mean, if it was me, I'd probably be like, well, I didn't order it, but I do like pizza. Yeah. So, you know.
All you've done is not piss off that company. You've just not piss off that person. You've just wasted that company's money and time. That's all you've done.
Yeah, it doesn't actually do anything to the person, because they haven't got to pay for the pizzas because they never fucking ordered them. So they just be like,
pure pineapple pizza.
Just send them a glitter bomb. I remember back in the day when before you could just send people fucking you could put them on like an email spam site or something. It would just send them fucking hundreds of emails, like constantly. Like,
Put them on a
can't do
mailing
that
list.
anymore.
Yeah, put them on a mailing list, like,
Yeah,
you know what I
man.
mean, where they just get loads of bullshit, like, you know. And it's there's a million ways you can play pranks on people, but I do think that was a bit mean, putting his name on the glory hole toilet balls. I do think that was a bit.
Man, it happens, dude.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I suppose, but like, I mean, imagine that waking up, you've been out on the beer, and you suddenly get loads of phone calls being propositioned by all these people and that, and then you're thinking to, because he couldn't really remember a lot of what had happened the night before, so he was probably thinking, why am I getting all these calls? What's going on? So in the end, he was like, where'd you get my number?
My deputy managers did it to my manager in one of our local pub toilets. Like, he was like, I'm getting these weird phone calls. Like,
that's the thing, is when people don't get it and they're like getting all like, they must have the wrong number. What, all 15 of them? Yeah, they must have got the number wrong, mate. It's not that someone's put it on a website or so on some like on Craigslist or whatever. Like, do you know what I mean? Like trying to get you, you know, it's, and they're like confused by it. But yeah, some people, they're not very bright, unfortunately. Two short planks, looks intelligent next to you though, Chris. It's very nice of you, Nick.
We used to do it to my mate's dad back in the days. He was a DJ, like local, like proper like wedding function DJ. We used to get pissed at night and ring his number and go, hello, we're looking for a DJ all the time, like every Friday and Saturday night. You'd be like, fuck off, you cunts.
That's exactly what it is. Josh, will you fuck off?
Yeah, I was like best friends with one of his son, best friends with his son. Like, mum's cut his hair for years, like his family's hair. Like, it's like dad knew him, all this sort of stuff. We'd be like, hello, we're looking for a DJ all the time. Like, fuck off. But every Friday night without fail.
Yeah, one of my mates, Jackie, used to ring our other friend Anthony's mum's house. Like when we'd be out on the beer, he'd just be Stephen. He'd ring up and like be chatting to his mum, like, you know, just messing about, like, you know. He'd ring her up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Like we'd be in Swansea waiting for a taxi, and I'd see Jack would be like wandering around like on the phone laughing. I'd be like, "Who are you talking to?" He'd be like, "Irene." Irene who? And he's like, "Anthony's mum." What are you talking to her for? He's like, don't know, just woke her up. It's just like, for fuck's sake. Guy's just not right in the head. Yeah.
No, apparently not.
No. Well, we can get back to vaping.
We can get back to vaping.
So I see Australia got their Nick ban.
Yes.
Like, not returned, but
what have they got? A stay of execution, basically, is what they've got, haven't they? Right?
It's not a good thing still, but it's better than what they were proposing.
I think it's a judicial review, won't it? I don't, because basically the governor tried to write this thing through shotgun, and everyone's just turned around in arms. Obviously, there was the massive petitions by 2 of the statesmen there as well that people got involved, and we shared, and Bogan shared, and it got masses and masses of people signing it, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, basically they'll have to review it and do it properly. So
I mean, I don't know.
Stay of execution, but
that's the thing. I don't really know how some of these countries, their governments operate. I mean, I know that Australia is kind of similar to our sort of government in a way. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, but I don't know whether do they have like free healthcare in Australia? Like they have like a health service?
No.
I do.
See, this is what I right. Okay, so this is the way that I'm starting to see stuff. Is that countries that don't have free healthcare are the ones that are taking a hard stance on vaping.
It's money making, money making. That's all it's about. The whole world is about money. People know this.
I mean, who was it? Nick was saying the other day about, was it Amsterdam, Holland, or, you know, like the Netherlands, whatever you want to call it.
They're putting in a flavour ban as well, aren't they?
Yeah, we shared it. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it a total flavour ban though, or is it
tobacco and menthol will be the only ones that they're
right?
For a country that takes small. No. The thing is, will they take it the way they take their other laws there, where obviously everyone's like, go there, we can smoke weed there, do this there. But the law over there is it's technically illegal. You can't do that over there.
Yeah,
but they take a stance on it where if it's done sensibly and you're not taking the mick, we'll tolerate it. you know what I
Okay,
mean?
so when I went to Ireland in last time 2018, right? So 2 years ago, I saw one vape shop, and I was looking. I saw one vape shop when I was there. I saw one other person vaping when I was there, and he was at the same drum and bass festival as I was at, and he was from London. Right? They don't look down on smoking like it's antisocial. They don't, they actually look at vaping as being more antisocial because of people blowing great big clouds in everyone's faces and stuff like that. But also, it's a very different culture over there. It's very, do you know what I mean? Culturally, they're very different to us. And it's one of these things. I think that there's not as many people in Holland that even vape as there are in the UK, because the UK is very much, and has been for a long time, anti-smoking. And smoking is seen now as an antisocial kind of thing by the majority of people. So it's one of these things where they don't look down on smoking I mean, look, they said when we weren't allowed to smoke tobacco in public places, that was all across Europe, right? Now, I went there November 2018, so right at the end of, it's only just a year and a half ago. And that ban had come in years before. People were still smoking tobacco indoors, in the pubs and the coffee shops. They've still got smoking rooms in nightclubs. You don't have to go outside to smoke like you do in the UK. They've still got smoking rooms and stuff. So they just ignore them laws pretty much. Like, there's certain laws, the law will come in, but they might not enforce it because they're too stoned. They're like, sure. Yeah.
So sorry, just to answer Christopher Mawson's question there, he's asking if us going and signing their petitions to support our Australian friends makes any difference because we're out of the country's jurisdiction and things. I think it's more. Go on, Andy.
I was going to say, right, okay, so do you honestly think all of them votes are going to go and track the IP on every single one? That's a lot of fucking work. That is a lot of fucking work.
The thing is, a lot of them we sign aren't official. They're just like random TV stations and papers. That's all it is. So they mean nothing. It's just to them.
It's just to get attention. So look, this many people. They say this many people care. That's what it says, right? It doesn't, right? They're not saying. And the other thing is, I've got static IP. So do you know what I mean? They might think I'm in Hong fucking Kong from all they know. Like, good luck fucking trying to find out where I am. Through my IP because it's hidden. So, a lot of people as well are like that. It's not just me. I know it probably is between us lot, but it's one of them things that a lot of people use VPNs as well, which that gives you a completely different IP address as well. So, I don't honestly think they'll waste the time and money having somebody sat there filtering through all of that data to check the IP address and then double check that the IP address is actually the correct IP address, because once you bounce an IP address, once you ping it, it's like going around a pinball machine, and that's how they lose them. So it's one of them things. I mean, I although I agree with you that a lot of the time, I don't think these petitions do a lot. I really don't. And that doesn't mean that I'm saying stop doing them or whatever. But fuck me, how many petitions did we do for America?
Jesus, yeah.
I mean, I don't want to get into a whole debate about America and stuff, but fuck me, land of the free, my ass. I mean, it's just wow. Do you know what I mean? I thought that big fucking French bird stood in the fucking in the port of New York. Man, it was, do you know what I mean? The Statue of Liberty. That was them.
Big French bird.
Yeah, that's what is it?
Yeah, it is.
What was it? It's a big French tart stood in the fucking water. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I say, Jay Hayes said it. Funnily enough, a week before they brought in the band and they announced all of the bands and everything in New Jersey. And he said it. He's like, no one cares about advocacy. It's bullshit. Nothing's going to happen. We filled in all these protests, petitions, and done this and done that. And then the next week, they announced that they were doing the flavour bans and all of the shit started. And his view, funnily enough, changed.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, and self-interest, whatever. But it's one of them things. I don't know. I honestly think that we're. I don't want to say we're never going to have any further restrictions, but I like to think that our government kind of know.
They realise they've got to tackle smoking first, and that's a much bigger issue. They can't attack us.
Yeah.
I think our government understand that.
I think they got all the time they allow drinking and smoking, which are a much bigger drain on public health than drugs and everything else. But do you know what I mean? Put together, it's a massive drain on public health, and not just that, but the public services. At the end of the day, if it works, it works. If it don't work, if we do nothing, we may as well learn to back to that big tobacco. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying for any minute to stop doing it, but I do feel sometimes like I'm fucking walking up an escalator the wrong way. You just get nowhere fast. It's just like all of these petitions. Are they just putting off the inevitable? Is that what it's doing? Is it just putting it off, and then these governments have got to say, all right, we'll review it and this and that and the other, but is their mind already made up? Is their mind, that's the thing. I honestly believe in America that their mind's already made up. I believe. So. And look, it's just a matter of time, unfortunately. I really do. I mean, I'd love to see some evidence to the contrary, but unfortunately there isn't any. It's good though nobody's dying of vaping anymore out there though.
Just on the legislation side that you touched there, Andy, we definitely have changes afoot. There's a lot of clinical research going on right now into the colourings that have been added to a lot of liquids.
I won't vape.
But generally, on the whole, vapers don't like colourings in liquid.
No, I won't vape juice that's coloured anymore.
There's now concerns that some of the food colourings that have been used to colour some liquids may potentially have a risk. There's masses of clinical research going on to it at the minute, which will be interesting to see.
So all of you people with your blue slushes.
Yeah, I personally would like to see companies being proactive rather than reactive and stop using the colour.
Yeah, just stop using the colours.
But there is things going on with them at the minute. Obviously, CPD, the next phase of it is coming in, and there will be a tax on nicotine brought in the nic shots. That's pretty much confirmed that that's going to be the case for them.
Well...
seemingly we might be getting rid of the small tanks, which could be quite useful.
Yeah. I mean, they tried to enforce the 2 ml rule on squonk bottles, so they just stopped supplying them directly with them, and you get them as a free gift now.
Yeah.
And it's one of these things, and I think they've realised that with things like that, people are just going to find a workaround. Bubble glass kit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Take the stopper out of the fatality, and it allows an extra couple of millijuice in it. There's no... problem is there's no advocacy group that's got backdoor links to tobacco.
I would not agree with that. Sorry.
What's that? There are groups that have got links to big tobacco. You mean there are advocacy groups that have got links into big tobacco?
No, there's advocacy groups that haven't. He's basically saying there that most of them have a link.
There is no advocacy group that's not got a link. Oh, right, yeah, there's a lot of double negatives there. There's no advocacy.
Simon, I know several very, very good, very proactive advocacy groups, EFRA being one, that are definitely not got backdoor links to tobacco.
I mean, look, there's a lot of juice companies and stuff that have got backdoor links to tobacco. They're out there, so, it's one of them things. But, I mean, it's one of these things that, you will get some, obviously, that have, and then you'll get others that won't. You can't brush tar everyone with the same brush. I don't think.
You see, I've kind of changed my opinion now. I was very, very anti tobacco being involved in the industry for a long while. I was that way.
Yeah.
Now I'm slightly altering my stance because I don't really know why. Because it's inevitable they're going to get involved. I'll tell you what,
the reason it was for me that I thought to myself, stop pushing back and trying to name and shame these companies that had money from tobacco companies and stuff. My main reason was because all of this shit that went on in America and over here and stuff like that, it's all the tobacco companies. They're the ones that are pushing behind it because they're not getting a piece of the pie. So
Exactly.
the more you hold off and try and boycott them, and yeah, right, we can all be principled and say, well, you know what I mean? It's like selling us the disease and then selling us the cure and this kind of stuff. And yeah, I agree. But nobody forced me to smoke. Nobody forced me to start smoking. I didn't get a gun held to my head to do it. I chose to do it, knowing it was addictive. All right, we kind of knew in the 90s that it weren't good for you as well. Like, you know,
it goes back to something our dear friend Vaping with Vic once said, that within 12 months, every pod starter kit that's on the market will be produced by a tobacco company. And that really wouldn't surprise me if that's the case. Obviously, you'll have your mainstays of Smock, etc. But these big tobacco companies are buying the smaller companies out.
Yeah.
They're doing it. They are actively doing it now because they're getting their smokers onto their pods.
Yeah.
Look at bloody Jules, for God's sake, and Marlboro. I mean, I know Jules up shit creek now, but yeah.
For me, the way I see it is, right, they've got the money to invest into vaping. They're gonna. You know, they're banning, when cigarettes being banned 2030 over here?
Yeah.
Well, that's what they said. Yeah.
So, you know, they're going to want to get the fingers in other pies. The main thing is, regardless of where the money's going from, that customer of theirs is vaping.
This is the thing, and it's like I say, like I'd rather see more people. Yeah, they are adapting to the market.
Yeah,
of course, that's what they're going to.
Yeah.
They've got no choice.
But if everybody keeps saying boycott them, don't buy anything off them, then they'll start going against vaping. Then they'll start going against vaping. They'll start tackling it head on. We've got
to remember what's going to affect vaping more than anything when they push is the money behind them.
Yeah. I mean,
exactly.
You know,
yes,
like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, they are. It's one of these things that they were always going to have to do it, but they just wanted to put it off for as long as they could. That's what I honestly believe, is they wanted to put it off as long as they could. I think that once it was said that the UK government was going to outlaw tobacco by 2030, Marlboro then said they were stopping making tobacco products from 2029. I think that
no coincidence there at all.
Not at all. No. I think that, you know, it'll all come in line. But I'm not being funny. I don't see it as a good thing. Then banning smoking. If you want to smoke, smoke. Like, I know we all should be set. I'm going to be controversial here, right? I'm pro-choice. Yeah? I am pro-choice, right? I'm a fucking adult. If I want to smoke, I'll smoke. If I want to vape, I'll vape. If I want to drink, I'll drink. If I want to shoot smack into my eyeballs, that's what I'll do, right? I'm not being funny, but if that's what I want to do and I'm not hurting anybody else, then why the fuck should I be told what to do? I don't believe smoking should be outlawed. I don't think it should. Yeah, it'll be great for the vaping industry, but guess what? If they do it to fucking smoking, it'll be vaping next. Yeah. And this is the thing. Once you start letting people take away your rights to fucking decide, like, do you remember when the law came in about not being allowed to smoke in the car with your kids?
Yeah.
Like there was a law coming in like that. Now, loads of people are like, well, I don't do that anyway. So, do you know what I mean? It doesn't affect me. I never did, right? But I didn't like that fucking law. I didn't like it because I do not need the government to tell me what to do and what not to do around my fucking kids. I'm not stupid. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's one of these things.
People are stupid, aren't they, as well?
Yeah, I know people are idiots. Right, and some people do need telling. Like, maybe, you know, there should be some sort of IQ test before they have kids. I don't know. That's a bit controversial, but fuck it. But
license like China. That's what I say.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I'm pro-choice. If somebody wants to smoke, I'd rather them vape. Yeah, I would rather them vape, but I'd rather them have the choice. I'd rather them have the choice. It's a lot like the free speech thing and opinions, isn't it? And it's like, I might not agree with your opinion, but I will fight to my dying breath so that you've got the right to have your opinion, because that is what living in a free world is being able to have your own opinions and make your own choices. And all right, I agree.
The thing is, the advertising that goes with the tobacco and everything else, you know, everybody knows the risks. The risks are there to see. The evidence is there. For us, it's about keeping the focus and the awareness on, you know, the vaping benefits, and that's where our fight needs to be. Not against anything particular, but just keep raising that awareness.
You see, what Christopher said just there, I was going to say something along them lines to the smokers.
Yeah, but then they got banned. They got banned drinking. Then they got a ban. Do you know what I mean? It's like one of these things.
See, what I'd like to see is, if you're an alcoholic, if you're a smoker, you get ill through them or any other thing, or even stick obese people on, because I'm obese. If you get ill because a result of your self-neglect, you should pay for your own healthcare. I think I'm glitching out a bit now, aren't I?
No,
there's a bit of echoing I can hear, that's all. It's echoing a bit, and it's not me because that might be. Yeah, I think Josh's microphone is too near to his speaker. But yeah, it's one of these things that, I mean, right, okay, so we know that smoking can cause cancer, but we also know that people that have never smoked can also get lung cancer and whatever. So this is where that becomes a bit of a muddy, do you know what I mean? Like a bit of a grey area there, because my mum has never smoked a single cigarette in her life, yet she had breast cancer when she was in her mid-20s. All right. So, you know, it's one of these things then. So, you know, if they say, well, you know, cancer's a smoking related disease, then some people have never smoked, but yeah, I don't know. It's a bit of a murky one. They're not telling you, they're telling the brain dead knuckle draggers who read the Daily Mail and think Jamie Oliver killed the food industry when they banned turkey twisters. I mean, yeah, I kind of agree with you there, you know, but again, if people want to eat dog shit food, like, right, they should have stopped serving them in schools, right? But if people want to eat that, then that's up to them. You telling me that old English fucking American hot dogs are any better than turkey twistlers? You telling me that tinned hot dogs are any better, but you can go and buy them still? No, exactly. It's one of these things. You know, it's one of them things that it was just a big load of shit went on about it, and I think that if somebody does want to do it, but then again, it's one of these things. Then people are feeding them to their kids. It's unhealthy for their kids. That's what the issue was with that. It's always about the kids, right? So what do? Then do they put like an age restriction on food?
Well, they have the advertising of it, haven't they? So maybe so.
That's what I'm saying.
It's done it with energy drinks, haven't they? Done it with energy drinks. I mean, energy drinks are terrible for you, but you can't. I think you've got to be 16 in most places to go and buy an energy drink nowadays.
At least 16, yeah.
In Asda, they ask you if you're 18 or older.
For what?
Some reason, yeah.
But
that's their personal choice.
Yeah. No, you don't feel robbed about that because they're shit. Turkey Twizzlers. I wasn't saying. Yeah,
Harvey the wall bangers. Do you remember wall bangers?
Yeah. The best one though was, I don't know if you remember, like years ago, Wimpy used to actually have adverts on the telly, and I never laughed so much in all my life. Me and my brother, was really childish. It's the pork bender in a bun. It's just fucking hilarious, man. It's like this weird, like, it's called the pork bender in a bun. The pork bender in a bun. Yeah, that's what it was called. It's called the pork bender. It was the sausage that they sort of like made like along one side. They'd like cut it, so when they stuck it on the griddle, it sort of curled and it went round. And me and my brother, we found that fucking hilarious, right? Like, you know what I mean? It's pork bender in a bun, but it's just basically it's just a fucking hot dog in a circle, stuck in a roll. But like, you know, you don't really see a lot. Well, I don't watch normal TV anymore, so I don't see any commercials like that. Do you know what I mean? I don't know, like, you know, it's like they banned supersized. Remember the bender in a bun? Yeah, it's it was one of them things that everybody was like, okay. Obviously, nobody told this American company that bender means something else in the UK. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, it's one of them things. But
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the death of Wimpy.
yeah. There's still a few Wimpies knocking about in Wales. I like.
I've never had a Wimpy.
Wimpies.
Or a Wendy's.
No, listen.
When I was a kid, there used to be a Wendy's in Wolverhampton. But I'd never gone in there.
We're on about Wimpy, not Wendy's.
Yeah, the what do you call it? The Wimpy, the quarter pounder that they do in the wholemeal brown roll with their Big Mac sauce or version of it, burger sauce. It's fucking awesome. I used to love Wimpy. Like I preferred it over McDonald's or Burger King. Always.
The only Wimpy in Exeter was at the bowling alley. So you went to the bowling alley and they threw your birthday party when you were a kid and you had Wimpy. That was it.
Yeah. I quite liked it. I mean, like Wimpy, there was a massive one in Swindon. There was a huge one that got took over when Burger King come over. Burger King basically took over most of the Wimpies they bought. Yeah, they took over like anywhere there's a Burger King now. Chances are in the 80s, early 90s, it was a Wimpy. But there's still quite a few of them in Wales.
It's like Nick just said, he misses the supersized Big Mac meal.
Yeah.
I'm not a massive fan of McDonald's. If I'm going to have a burger, I'm going to go to Burger King.
They banned supersize size meals in the UK. They banned them.
Yeah, that guy did a film, didn't he?
Supersize me. Yeah. Wow.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Once we did where he ate McDonald's 3 times a day. And the guy was a vegan as well before, like he's like a health freak vegan.
Proper fucked him up though, didn't it? It really fucked him up.
Yeah, I mean, like he was like it was just the anal bird. Yeah. I mean, it's just I don't know. I think that fast food like that, it's nice to have once in a while, I suppose. But for me, I don't really like White Castles and stuff like that. We don't get that over here, really. All these other
Same
big
here.
takeaways. Yeah. So in White
My
Castle
mum and dad
sliders are the best.
Rarely had takeaways. We would rarely have a chippy or anything like that. It was very rare.
Is that why you have them so often? Because is that why you have them so often?
But I mean,
actually, I don't have them as much as you actually think.
I don't know. Every time
a week.
Yeah, I have them like
when Jake's not here, I'm terrible.
How many times a week?
Once or twice a week.
What, a takeaway once or twice a week?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only like some like maybe a chippy or the wife and the daughter will have a Mackey's.
You know what I worked out the other day? The price for me to go to my chippy, for my family to have a chippy tea, I can go to a supermarket and buy steak, chips, and mushrooms for less than it costs to go to a chippy.
Yeah. Go to a chippy in a seaside town. See how much it fucking costs.
I am in the seaside.
Yeah, no, that's why then. You'd say
That's
the same
why.
to me. When I moved here, I had a chip shop for the first year, and all the other chip shops hated me because I just charged normal prices. It was like 80, 90p for a portion of chips, 50p for a sausage, 60p for a battered sausage, and I was half the price of everyone.
The seaside town that's closest to me, which is Exmouth. If you Google it, they have the 3 times in a row best voted chip shop in the UK, which is Crispies, right? And it is amazing. Obviously, I don't go there often because they're like 15 miles away from me, or 10 miles away from me.
Yeah.
But they do battered chips.
Yeah. Well, scallops.
Battered chips, man.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. The queue, you drive past Crispies, on like, say about 6 o'clock at night. The queue is incredible, man. Like, it's ridiculous. It's like, it is phenomenal. Don't get me wrong.
Well, scallops, potato scallops, they're basically a boiled potato cut into big, thick slices in batter and fried. And people
I love a potato scallop, man. I love a potato scallop.
But people have that with chips.
Yeah.
So you're having potato with potato. It's like, it always cracks me up when you go to like it's normally pubs and places like that that do it, and people have lasagna and chips. and it's like, wow, that's just like
But,
a giant.
but mate, there's
carb.
nothing wrong with lasagna. Like quiche and chips, man. Cold quiche, hot
Yeah,
chip.
cold quiche and chips are nice, but like lasagna, any pasta dish should not be served with a side of fries.
Colin knows.
That's just
Colin knows Crispies,
Yeah.
but you felt Crispies wrong because it's better for K and not a C. But
go to any proper Italian restaurant, order a lasagna, and it will come with some salad and garlic bread.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? That's what it will come with. Sometimes you have to order the garlic bread separately.
Why does salad go so well with lasagna? That's what I've never got.
Right. Okay, because it's quite greasy. Because lasagna is quite a greasy. It's quite a greasy dish. It's got quite a lot of oil in it, from the meat, from the oil, the olive oil they use and stuff like that. So the salad, it cleanses your palate. Is the idea? It's sort of like the crisp, clean sort of. So because otherwise, this is why I always say like lasagna with chips. Then it just becomes too greasy. But like if you have it, then it's like
chips are.
Yeah, it does. It does depend on how good your chips are, but that is the point of the salad with lasagna and stuff like that. It's for that contrast. It's a lot like some people have hot apple pie with ice cream on it. Do you get what I mean? It's the hot and cold contrast, and it's actually really fucking nice.
Yeah,
Did you ever see that sketch? Obviously, it was what was the program?
Fast Show.
Nah, the Indian program. It was just Indian actors.
Goodness gracious me!
Goodness gracious me! And they did that sketch, didn't they? Going for an English. Do you remember that? Do you remember that sketch?
Yes.
We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 portions of chips. 5 portions of chips. I don't know why I'm doing the accent. I'm like, but that always used to crack me up. You know, we'll have the blandest thing on the menu. Blandest thing on the menu. Like, but it's
That's probably been took off air now for being racist, but anyway.
Yeah, man.
You know,
I watched it the other day.
It's one of them things, though. Like a lot of the food that we have, Chinese, for example, India, stuff like that. It's not even stuff that they would eat themselves. It's westernized. It's designed for us.
I used to work with a guy called Hugh, and his parents were from Hong Kong, and Hugh spoke fluent Cantonese. And there's a Chinese down the road from us, near the shop we used to work. And
how do you spell his name? Is it like literally? Is it HU or is it like?
No. I think that was like his. He just used to call himself Hugh. It was like his English name.
Yeah.
And he was he was born in England. Does that make sense? But his parents were both Chinese from Hong Kong.
Yeah, so he's
and he could speak fluent Cantonese. He used to go there all the time. Like, do you know what I mean? And there's a Chinese down the road from the shop called bad name. It's called Minghua, right? But phenomenal Chinese. But he would go in there. We'd go in there with him, and he'd speak Cantonese, and they'd pull out a different menu.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah. And so they had the pink menu for UK, and a hidden menu which is blue. Pull that out, and it's all in Chinese. And he would order for us from that, and the food was like the food in there's good anyway, but the food was phenomenal. Like
for the pink menu, right? Did you have to have a pet ID scanner to go over it to make sure? I'm just going to be quiet.
But like it was, but like the food in there's good anyway. Like it's like probably the best Chinese in Exeter. But man, like it was, but yeah, you go in there and he'd speak Cantonese to him, and they'd pull out a different menu, and he would order. We'd go there for work, and he'd order off that menu, and the food was just insane. Do you know what I mean? It's just like completely different menu.
One of the waiters at the Italian restaurant I worked at, Ciro, he's from Naples. He didn't really speak a lot of English when I first met him, and on his days off, he'd want to go to the other different Italian restaurants in Cheltenham, where we lived at the time, and he used to love going and sitting down and having a meal and a glass of wine. It's just really weird, like, you know, but I just used to go with him, hang out, like, you know, just I'd go and have a steak away. But that's what he'd do. Like, he'd go into all these Italian restaurants and he would have steak and chips. He wouldn't be ordering the Italian food. He'd be ordering but he'd go there because he'd like drinking the house Italian red wines and stuff like that. That's what he said to me. He's like, no, I come for the drink, not the food so much. But it's the same sort of thing. A lot of the Italian food, we don't really. It's not the same. Like our bolognese is not like the way that they.
No, we put too much sauce in our bolognese. It's like literally like
it's too thick. It's too thick. Theirs is just, and it's tossed through it already. Like this whole thing of. Yeah, it's just completely different. We have sort of like our UK versions of of stuff like that. But like, as you lot all know, I live in the middle of nowhere, and for a long time I could only get one place to deliver takeaway food to me, which, you know, I love the food from there anyway, but after a while it kind of gets boring. I've got a friend, Will, who's a taxi driver, and there's this really good, it's like an Asian fusion restaurant, but it's about 30 miles away from me, 30 miles away, and the cutoff for delivery is about 10 miles away from me. But he still brings me deliveries from there, which is absolutely awesome. And there's another kebab shop that's just opened that does better kebabs than the other one as well, that's delivering here. So now I can get food from loads of different places. But the Chinese, I'm a creature of habit though. I like go for the same thing all the time. I go like, although I have stepped outside a little bit because they do a starter which is deep fried combos. So you get prawn toast, you get spring rolls, you get ribs, you get a couple of Peking ribs in sauce, you get some seaweed, and you get salt and pepper shredded. It's like battered chicken, like deep fried and battered chicken. You get that, and you get quite a lot for your money as well with it. I have that, Singapore chow mein, and the crispy chili beef, and that's me. I love that shit. I mean, I can eat that every day. Yeah,
we have a vape question. What's the biggest positive in the vaping scene recently?
Me.
The biggest positive in the vaping scene recently. Wow. Yeah, there's been a lot of negativity for quite a while, and I think that in the end, that's what people tend to focus on is the negativity. Oh, yeah, so it's a very good question. I mean,
it's a great question. Fucking great question,
it's a
Chris.
great one because,
it's got us not stumped.
Well, no, I mean, I'm just trying to think of what's more positive, really. I mean, you know, basically, coronavirus is the best thing that's happened to vaping in fucking years because everyone shut up about everyone dying of vaping. Yeah. So that was pretty positive for vaping, but it wasn't in vaping. So, do you know what I mean? I mean, it wasn't positive for all the other people dying of coronavirus, but, you know. Right, for me, the biggest positive thing that I've seen in vaping in the last, say, 6 months was when the majority of all of the rulings in America got fucking overturned. Do you know what I mean? Like with some of the flavor bans and this and that and the other, and they got overturned and people were allowed to do whatever again, you know? And it wasn't as bad as what we thought it was going to be, maybe. And, you know, because we thought that was it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And they were going to ban vaping outright, and they haven't. And we've got to see that as a positive. It's a win in a way, like, you know.
And as lots of people think that just affects America, you wouldn't realise how big an impact that would have worldwide on the vaping industry. If America was to go to shit and they were to ban vaping over there, over here, the thing would be done.
Yeah.
I'm not even...
I mean, the biggest positive.
Your thoughts on that comment, resident smock reviewer?
Yeah.
Well, they couldn't get any worse, could they?
True.
Yes, they have improved, but they was appalling.
Do you know what? Right? When the Nord came out, everyone was going on about how great the Nord coils were and this and that and the other. And I got a Nord bridge from a billet box, and I stuck a Nord coil in.
Yes, you did. I remember that quite well. Yeah.
Do you remember when you asked me what I thought of them? And I said, they're fucking shite. And I said it, and everybody at the time was like, what? No, they're really good. But now everybody's like, yeah, they're pretty shit. And it's like, it's one of them things that I think, I don't know, because it's not like right, as a coil builder, yeah, all right, I don't really like stock coils, but I do use them. Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, if I was going to make any sub-ohm tank device, the coil of choice for me to go in it would be a Vaporesso EUC ceramic. That is the best stock coil that I've ever tried. They're fucking awesome. I don't think there's anything out there that touches it, personally. Depends on what you want it for. I mean, for salts and lower wattage vaping, you know what I mean? You might get something.
The thing is, coils come and go as good and bad. Like, I always, obviously I used to use my
ceramics. They've been around a while.
Yeah, no, but you know what I mean. It's like the quality. Like, obviously, I used to use my Orion a lot, and I thought the coils were right. But my wife still uses hers, and the coils are shit now. They die really quickly. They don't last. Like there's like
Yeah,
it's
they
like,
changed.
It's
they,
like
they,
we're not really too fussed about this one anymore. So we'll just make the quality shit like or not care as much. I'm not saying
yeah.
they're going to change, but they're just like,
It's
oh
a lot
well.
like it's a lot like when Apple stopped doing updates for a device, isn't it? And like they're just basically saying to you, yeah, you got to move on. Like it's one of them things that I don't know though, because okay, so coils come and go, but ever since I started vaping, right.
The Aspire
Nautilus coils, right? Not when I started vaping, but you know what I mean. Like,
they're a solid coil.
They're fucking ace, and you can rebuild them. You can rebuild them. They are rebuildable if you can be fucked. They are rebuildable.
You have to
you still poke the cotton through the holes like you used to be able to.
No, you take them all apart and you just make a new coil and put a whole thing in.
You see, I remember when I got my first what fucking mate was it? iSub.
Yeah.
And you used to be able to poke the cotton when it was at it out through the other side and then re-thread it really carefully.
That was when, that was when it was literally a bit. These ones though,
coil.
Yeah, it's different. It goes up and then it goes round, and it's got the cotton around the outside of the coil. But you can rebuild them. They are rebuildable. So a lot of coils are rebuildable if you can be asked to do it. A lot of them are. I mean, I remember back when the Nautilus the tanks came out, and we were all drilling out the holes in them to make them so they weren't mouth to lung, so you could get big clouds off them and stuff. But you were still running the stock coils with them, and back then they were like 1.6, 1.60. That was standard. It's like there was a guy actually question. He was like, my battery life's going on my mod on one of the groups on Facebook the other day, and he was using Molicel P26As, which I was thinking, like, in the regulated, they should be right, really. And basically, what's that saying? I think stock coils are hit and miss. There's a video on YouTube so it shows you how they make the coils. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like the Vaporesso coils for me they've been pretty consistent. Like you see the ceramics though. I'm not talking about the other. I'm not talking about the mesh. I'm not talking about the Clapton ones they do. They do loads of different versions. I'm talking about the ceramics that come in the red pack that look just like that. Right? And they come in a red pack, red and white. And they're the ones that the best stock coil for me is the Mini V2A1. Not sure what that is. Is that the Aspire Mini or what Mini is it? I don't know. Like I see that's the other thing is because I was only on tanks for a very, very short period of time myself, and then I was one of the ones that went pretty quick from using starter kits to mechs and RDAs. Like, I kind of made that jump. I still used regulateds a lot, but 120 watt last just under 4 weeks on 70-30. That's good. I mean,
it always depends on what juice though. It's all right saying 70-30.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, so
sweeteners in it.
Right, reference then. Okay, so I use the EUC coil at the moment. I've had the same one in for 5 weeks, and it is still fucking fine. And I vape at 40 watts on a billet box. It's a 0.5 ceramic, and I use strawberry, and it's got strawberry jam monster in it. And I get 4 weeks out of it. So,
which is quite sweet.
Yeah, and it is quite sweet, but it's not actually that much of a coil killer, though, really, either. But, like, the ceramics are known to fucking last. Now, getting back to this guy, what he was saying was, like, he couldn't work out why his battery life was going down so fast. And when I looked at, like, what settings he was using a 1.6 ohm build at, like, 60 watts, 70 watts. So I think that was the issue, really, more than anything. He's pushing too much power through that coil. Do you know what I mean? Like a 1.6 ohm is a mouth to lung coil.
Yeah.
And he was vaping it like 60, 70 watts or whatever. So I think that was his problem. Also, might have been his charger that he was using. But I've seen
Yeah.
a lot. I've seen a lot of people. I mean, I like the Nautilus coils for salts. They're great for salts. Really, really good.
See, I keep the salts. I just can't do them anymore. They were sending me batshit crazy.
Yeah, but that's the thing. See, I don't have I will never go a day where I just vape salts and nothing else. I don't do that. I will vape them if I get that craving. If I get a craving, or like I've been doing something, I've been around people where I can't vape, or I've been in a situation. Do you know what I mean? Like I've been somewhere I can't vape, then and I'm sat there and I really want to vape. Then I'll first thing I'll reach for is the salts.
Yeah.
You know, like because that will cure your craving straight away.
But it also adds to the craving, doesn't it? That's what I found. Anyway.
Well, it does if you use it if you use them all the time. It does. I mean, I fell into that trap and I started using them quite a bit, and I was getting cravings again, and I was like, "Fuck!" I've turned into a crackhead.
When I first discovered 20 milligram, I was like, "This is fucking awesome!" Like, fucking vaping, and now I used to find it used to make me aggressive, man. Like, probably because I was getting cravings so bad. And it's making me angry, and it's giving me headaches and all this shit. And I was like, it's the Nick salts. It's the fucking Nick salts. Like, just.
I mean, I don't like saying that Jay Hayes is right very often, but he called it with the Nick salts early on. And he said these are not good, and closed pod systems are going to fuck vaping up. And he said long before there was all of this shit about Juul and everything, he was one of the ones saying, look, when I go down, I go to a convenience store, I don't see all cigarette butts out by the trash can or whatever. Now all I see is empty fucking pods, disposable pods. He said, and that's what's going to fucking piss everybody off. You know, and it was one of those things. And then you had other people saying that they were going to ruin vaping totally because all juices would be 50-50 and this and that and the other. And it's like, no, because there's people out there that just won't be swayed. You know, like salts aren't for everyone. No. I've said it before. Salts for me, if somebody's trying to get off cigarettes, direct replacement, 10, 20 milligram salts, and then reduce it down and go on to freebase. But do that gradually, right? Yeah. So instead of just quitting salts and going straight to freebase, then what you do is you have a couple of devices, one with salts, one with freebase, and you use them half and half for a few weeks, and then you use the salts less and less and less. And then you go over onto the freebase. It's one of them things that I think they have their place. I really do. For new vapors, they have their place because 3 milligram. Let's be honest, you have to vape quite a lot to get that amount of nicotine in you, and a lot of people, new vapors, wouldn't be very impressed if I said, "Here, have a go on this." You know, I've done it to people for a laugh. Do you know what I mean? Like, been out or whatever, and someone's gone, "Oh, let's have a go on your vape." Like, all right, yeah. And I just like watch, and they, Jesus, and they're coughing their guts up, and you know, just for a laugh. But it's I think that, and this is the thing, you know, when people like moan about starter kits and everything, but that's what gets people into vaping. And pod systems now. I mean, Juul. Blue, yeah, all right. I don't fucking like them. All right, I don't like them, but
they have a purpose. People onto vaping.
The more people,
mate, if they're contributing to the industry and they're happy to do their shit, fine. It's not an issue.
I just don't like. I just don't like their business tactics. The way that they've got their lobbyists over here whipping the UK government and this and that.
With Blue is obviously they went into a lot of shops and went, we'll just give you all this stock for free.
Yeah.
Like, give it away. Like, or we'll give you this stock for free and sell it. Do you know what I mean? Just to get it in the shops.
Yeah. But but the rule was they had to put the display right at the front of the counter where everybody could see it. It's a lot like, you know, when you go into a spa shop or whatever and they say to you, can I interest you in some fucking chocolate teapots or whatever shit it is you don't want? Do you know what I mean? They've got there. Me, I just say no. Right, most people like they just don't even bother asking me because they know me in all the shops around there. And they know I don't. If I wanted something, I'd pick it up and buy it. But they get a lot of people like that because the stuff's there right at the front of the counter. That's why they have all the sweets and shit like that right around the counter, because you stand there, you stood there in the queue, and you start looking at stuff. It's like, oh, I'll have a packet of fucking minstrels. Oh, I'll have a packet of
everything that's on offer is on offer and in position for a reason.
Yeah, it's like when you go into Tesco's and Asda or whatever, this is why 90% of supermarkets, the layout is you walk in there and you've got all the electrical goods, clothes and everything is the first bit you walk into. In a lot of in Tesco's, in a lot of Tesco's actually a business brand.
Our Tesco's and exit the big one. The first part you walk into is the electrical section.
Yes, that's what Tesco's
Not
is.
the one by me.
It's
The
because
electrical section for me is literally right at the very back on the left hand side. It's not actually that big.
Yeah, right. Okay. What I mean is, it's non-food stuff, right? So when you walk in there, what are you greeted with? Are you greeted with oranges and apples, fruit and veg section, or are you greeted with clothes, DVDs, fucking everything that's on offer? That's what
it's usually washing supplies, big multi-buy bottles of comfort and stuff like that.
Which are all loss leaders. They cost Tesco's more than what they sell them for, but they sell them to get people in the door.
It's classic business model. So if you walk past most shops with a window display, everything in the window display generally is a loss leader. It's to draw you in.
It's to draw you in, yeah.
And then it's up to the, like, not in all shops, but in most shops, and especially the industry I work in, it's to draw you in, and then it's the salesman's job to not make you buy it.
Not make you buy that, but buy something else. And that's it. And that's the idea behind it. And it's like, this is what people don't get, right? And it used to crack me up. And it was the same with the supermarket fuel. Yeah, but my petrol's like 1p cheaper from Tesco's per litre. So I'm going to drive 7 miles across town to go to Tesco's. I'm like, right, okay, you really don't get the economics of this, do you? Like,
the thing is, like, fuel and stuff as well. Like, you might drive to it's not quite the same anymore, but actually it used to be like Tesco fuel quality was really low. So like it was actually doing more damage to your engine and do you know what I mean? The thing.
Chris knows all of Chris being like, I know that he knows about a little bit about bikes.
This
is the thing. You don't fill up your fucking bike at a supermarket. You don't do it. You don't use supermarket fuel on a bike. All bikes I've ever owned, they've had premium in them. Yeah, premium proper fuel from a proper garage. Yeah, nothing else. Because supermarket fuel, Morrison's, for example, is 6% biodiesel. Yeah,
you buy that E85, man. You buy that premium.
Yeah. You stick that in your fucking in a brand new motorbike, and it'll fucking just shut up all the piston. It will completely fuck your engine. It's just not good for it. I actually filled one of my motorbikes up with diesel once, which is another interesting story. Premium diesel.
My mum does it all the time.
Really?
All the time. She'll go to the
Brand new
petrol.
bike.
Crap, I've just filled up my diesel with petrol. My brother has to go and sort it all out. Like,
I've only ever known one brand of bike to do a diesel engine. Every other bike manufacturer on this planet is petrol.
Right. If you
not for long, mate. Give it 10 years, mate. You won't be able to fucking buy petrol.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, no,
Diesel's fucking worse, really. But like, this is the thing. Yeah, you can put unleaded in a diesel, and you can then just top it up with more diesel and just water down the unleaded, and it won't fuck your engine up. Right, it won't actually totally fuck it. Like, but if it's the other way around, it will. So if you put diesel in, no, the other way around. Sorry, Facebook user Andy Bohane, you're looking rather stunning. Who is that?
We don't
Andy,
know.
will you stop writing messages to yourself?
Not me. I'm going to go and have a look and see who that is.
I mean, I've known my brother run his diesel van off of KFC oil.
So, yeah.
Off of KFC oil with some added ethanol. He used to go to KFC and be like, right, if you want your tank empty, your oil, I'll get rid of it for you for like a lot less. And he'd run his van on it, and literally drive down the road, it'd just smell of KFC.
Yeah,
right. When it comes to supermarket fuels and like big brand like BP and Shell fuels, right? It's no secret I'm a full-time care for my wife and all that lot. So the car I drive around in for the last 6 years has been Motability. So it's been brand new, never used by anybody else. And both of the cars that I've had, right, have only ever had Asda's fuel put into them. And not once has either of them, because one was a diesel, one was what the current one's a petrol.
Yeah,
and neither of them have had any issues fuel related.
Yeah, it's not fuel. It's not fuel related issue, right? It sucks up all the fucking pistons and everything. It just like literally.
Cheap fuel's much harder on trust. I used to work for a company called Goodrich Performance Parts, right?
Yeah.
Anyone that's into like custom stuff will probably know Goodrich. We actually used to make all the brake and fuel lines for Formula One cars. We used to make all the brake and fuel lines for every Jaguar that's on the road. Bentleys, all sorts of stuff. They all used to come out.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that if my mate's father-in-law was watching. He's just had to replace all of his on his XJ6.
I probably fucking built them.
I'll let him know that.
And then after a while, I switched jobs in there, and I was actually making parts for a very, very powerful gun. We'll say that was I had to sign fucking all sorts of shit when I first started working there. So basically we couldn't tell you about what the fuck we were working on. Awesome. It's all do you know what I mean? It makes no odds. But yeah, we used to make all of them, but they used to do a lot of tests with fuels and stuff like that, going how they basically eat the lines and clog up the lines and stuff like this, and the difference was insane.
I mean, like it's like you say, like with a bike engine, it's a lot more sensitive than the car engine. It's just a lot more sensitive than the car engine. I mean, don't get me wrong, you could probably get away with putting supermarket fuel in it. Like, you know, you could probably get away with it and it'd be all right, but it's not really the best practice, if you know what I mean.
I'm not saying it's bad anymore, but it used to be bad. It used to be
not that bad anymore, to be honest.
I mean, look, like I say, like one time I filled up my bike fucking full, filled the tank full of diesel, like fucking full. I mean, like basically all of the other in the garage. So the only one that was left over was the lorry one. It had a premium petrol, and I didn't even know there was such a thing as premium diesel, right? So I just looked for the premium sign, but it was a different color. Yeah, but I just, because it was night and I had my bike helmet on and stuff like that, and it was raining, I didn't notice. Yeah, so I grabbed it and I just filled it up, and I went in. I even paid, and I got back on my bike. I put my keys in, and I just had this just thought, and I just turned around and I just looked, and I saw, and I was like, "Thank fuck I didn't turn that engine over." And I rang my mate Paul, who's a great mechanic, and I said to him, he's like, "Don't worry about it, it'll be fine." He came, picked me up.
It's not a big problem on a bike.
Well, no, we just took the engine. We just took the
tank off, tipped it out.
Tipped it out. He was well happy. He had a load of free premium fucking diesel. It took us about 10 minutes to sort it out, and literally done that. Just filled it back up with petrol, and just straight away started. And it was absolutely fine.
Yeah, didn't get into the system.
Did he just pull the fuel line, or did he actually unbolt the actual tank and tip it?
It was a Yamaha R1, so you couldn't. You couldn't.
You had to remove the tank.
Get pulled into the system until you turn the engine, and it starts.
Then it starts to come through. But like, my keys were in, and I just sat on the bike, and you know when you just get that fucking weird feeling that something's not right, and I sat there, and I was like, I was fucked. I was coming back from the gym, coming back on the bike. I'd just done a massive leg session, and I'm riding a bike back then, fucking on the back roads around here. And I was just like, so I just pulled in. I just wanted to just get home and eat. That's all I wanted to do. Like, I was like trembling. I worked out far too hard, and I just weren't really paying attention. And it was one of them things. But I could have just totaled a 12 grand bike. Just totaled it. That would just like been a whole engine rebuild. That would have been it. That's what saying. Look, I won't use Asda diesel in my car. I get probably 40 to 50 miles less in my car than I do when I get it from Sainsbury's. And that's the difference. And that's the thing that people don't know. So this is why I always say, if you've got a motorbike, the mileage per gallon is so much better than a car. There's no reason not to use premium fuel. There's no reason not to. I mean, even on one of their crotch rockets, like an R1 or something, as long as you don't drive it like a lunatic, the petrol is still be better than most cars. The miles per gallon, it just will. So just fill it up with premium. Don't be a tight ass.
Plus you get a higher octane, so you get better performance. Yeah, I think we need to end.
Chris. Oh no, he's back again.
Am I back?
Yes,
Am I
I'm
live?
back.
Yeah, there you go. My phone
So-
just decided to like, I don't want to play, don't want to hear Andy. I'm just going to freeze.
Anybody got any questions or anything before we end? Doomsday V2 by Tower Mods, any good? From
Dunno.
Scott Lee. Don't know. Don't even know what that is. What's
Is
the
there
Doom?
any-
Is there a Doomsday V1?
Has anybody seen that lovely, just rebranded Asgard they've just released?
Oh, the temple. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. But now I'm going to look for it and laugh.
The Templar. It's basically just the rebranded Asgard. It looks like.
For loose.
Yeah, I saw that the other day. I was like, they just renamed the Asgard.
And Brian's virtually admitted it in one of the chats as well.
Has he?
Saying, sorry. Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I mean, come on. There's only so much you can. It's like I've said this for a while. Is that you can't keep reinventing the wheel. I mean, you know, it's the same thing rehashed. You know, there's like people keep going on about innovation, but really, there comes a point, and like I'm all for innovation, but innovation for the sake of innovation. Do you know what I mean? If something's good and it works right, why do we? Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not no communist or anything, but like, you get what I'm saying. Like, you know, if something's good and it works, then why do you need to change it? If it's not broke, don't fix it.
That's what you sound like. If it ain't fixed, don't break it.
Well, no, it is. It's like,
Fix, don't break it.
yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like for me, like flavor-wise, like, you know, and like, okay, you get some RTAs now that are on par. But they're still tanks. They're still fucking tanks. They still fucking dump juice. They still do bullshit stuff. I don't care what anyone says. As much as I love the fatality, I've had them dump tanks of juice all down the side of my fucking mods and shit like that before. It does happen. They're not immune to it, like some people seem to think. And it's just one of them things. Like, you know, and this is why I don't like RTAs as a rule, because I just hate it when you sat there, you're vaping, everything's fine. You put your mod down, you pick it up, and your hands all covered in juice, and your mod's sat there in a puddle of juice, and you're like, "What? That was fine though." Like, you know, and it's just annoying. It's, you know, it's just fucking pisses me off, and that's why I don't like the tanks so much in RTAs, and it's one of the reasons.
I quite like my fatality.
Yeah, no, right. Look.
I know what you're saying. I'm just like, you know, I quite like it.
Still probably the best RTA on the market, but one of the best RTAs on the market. But it, you know, it can leak. It does have issues here and there, especially if you get the wicking wrong. So
right.
Flip V3.
Wow. So it might look like an Asgard on the outside, but unfortunately on the inside, it's nothing like the Asgard.
No, it's basically the old temple deck, the old temple RDA. They basically rehashed the temple RDA with an Asgard cap.
I'm sorry, right? But what the fuck is that airflow control, the AFC? Look at the heat.
Move.
No, but look at the shape of it.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
I have to actually.
I don't give a fuck. I'll say it right now.
Yeah.
Look, they've copied the fucking the Apocalypse heatsink, the ringed airflow. What the fuck? Wow. I mean, I'm not saying all right, not copied, styled off. Like, do you know what I'm saying? But like, that's that's good. And to be honest, I mean, I prefer the look of that deck to the Asgard deck was shit. Like the coil position and everything was fucking dog shit.
what are some classics that are still worth buying? What RTAs, mods,
billet boxes? Hey, it's an investment. It's an investment. Now, I mean, look, classic. Okay, right, classic. Then they're still worth buying today, and it's still as good today as it fucking was the day it came out. Is the Apocalypse?
I knew you were going to say that.
It might be a 25mm version. It might be a millimeter bigger. I don't fucking care. Right? It is. It's been the same concept for 4 or 5 fucking years now. It's been the same thing. Not a lot's changed on it. Yeah, they've fine tuned some little things on it and stuff like that. But I've said it before. I always think the apocalypse is a bit of a Concorde type moment where that's as good as it gets as far as I'm concerned. And other people might not agree with me, and that's your right. And I think you're wrong.
And on that note, Josh, let's say bye-bye and end this before we carry on going down that route any further. Thank you all very much for watching. We've had loads in the chat tonight, loads watching. The actual live viewing figures was really good tonight. So thank you very much for coming and checking us out. And thank you guys for coming on as well, the panel.
Yeah. Always. Never miss it.
Yep.
Yeah. Go on then, Josh. Take us out.
We'll see you later, guys. Take it easy.
Later.
Bye, man.